Alright, this is my response to Module 2 Project Tracker, Parts 1 and 2 about project management. The first question says, of the 3 steps to initiating a project, identify key stakeholders, document project scope, and plan a risk management strategy. Which ones contributed to the project completion? Describe how they contributed. So the project I was given, this was actually my first day of work, was to compile a list of 100 of the top potential customers in the city of Munich, Germany. And so one of the steps to initiating this project was identifying who was going to be involved. So I had to figure out who's going to get this information that I was compiling, who in the office had already done such a project, and who could give me tips or advice about doing that, and who could offer any additional information. What websites should I consult? What resources should I use? And then documenting a project scope. For this project, it was relatively easy, as it wasn't extremely strenuous. It was a pretty clear goal, and the steps that were laid out by my supervisor were pretty clear. But I put that down on paper. I went over that with him and said, okay, at the end of every day, can you check up on the list of companies I'm making sure that I'm looking in the right sector? And then we just set some clear goals like that, and our communication was very good. So next question says, which elements of the project schedule were most useful to you and why? For me, the most effective one, I would say, was identifying the critical path, because there were key steps that had to be done in order to get the information that we were looking for. Creating this path, or creating this visual for myself to look at to go after this information, made it really simple for me to go and do that. So next question says, what did you learn about the process, about yourself? I learned that communication is very, very important, especially for me. I don't know, I need to get better at this, but I've learned that I need very clear instructions, or else I don't perform my best, or I sit there kind of wondering, okay, what do I do next? And I waste a lot of time and a lot of brain power, so to say, in deciding what my next step should be. So from the get-go, I need to sit down and be like, okay, what exactly are you looking for? How would you like it presented? In what form? Is there anything else that you could possibly be looking for? Just getting very, very specific with my boss. So another question from this says, how accurately did the project completion process mirror the project schedule? I would say it was pretty close. I stuck to it as well as I could, because I felt like the plan I'd made would make it the most efficient possible. And yeah, it turned out great. We ended up creating a great list. We went down to Munich, and of those 100 companies that we ended up contacting, we had quite a few become actual accounts with us, probably 33%, which was higher than most trips had been prior to that. So I think this project was extremely successful, and I think a lot of revenue is going to be generated from the companies that we acquired as customers for the future. Next question, what did you learn about the project management process? I learned that it is extremely important to have a plan, to have goals, to have a very clear-cut idea of what the project is going toward. Otherwise, it's just kind of helter-skelter, and you won't really get any of the results that you're looking for. Or it'll take longer, take more energy, take more time. And in a company, time is money, so it could be a very expensive process if your project isn't well organized and well executed. Next question says, what will you do differently in the future as a result? And this is referring to the SMART plan: specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time-bound. With these goals, I want to make it even more specific, make the metrics, so the measurable part, even more measurable, so to say. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to gauge where you're at in the project. Agreed upon, like I said, have a more clear vision from your supervisor of what they're looking for, and then make sure that you both are on the same page and agree. The realistic part, I thought that the things we already had were realistic, so I'm not too worried there. Time bound, I didn't have any problems there. I think we finished this project within a good amount of time. Yeah, well, thank you for listening.